My Daughter Keeper presents The Wolves of Langston by Daniel Howard, a solo 5e scenario from Obvious Mimic Press, Episode 7, To Catch a Cleric.
You pass through the courtyard and its outdoor altar quickly on your way to the front hall. When you enter the temple, it doesn't have the same sun-drenched charm as the first time you arrived. The red light streaming in the windows gives everything an air of menace, tinging even the shadows with bloody highlights. The tapestries depicting the dead seem darker, almost as if they are absorbing the light itself and feeding off of it. The main hall where you met Solane on your last visit is also changed. Instead of the sunburst mosaic, there is a spiral staircase bearing the same motifs circling down into the darkness below the temple. Though it's possible Solane escaped down one of the corridors, you feel certain that she has instead retreated into the darkness below. You cautiously descend the steps below to find corridors, rough-hewn walls of damp stone, and what seem like animal bones in various stages of decomposition. As you proceed, you find your way lit by the same glowing orbs you saw above ground, so this is clearly part of the original temple. Its purpose in a temple devoted to the sun, however, is unclear. You keep your wits about you as you advance down the corridors, careful at every turn not to become another set of bones on the floor. In the dim light of the magical illumination, you quickly figure out that while the corridors twist a couple of times, they all lead to the same place. A large chamber where it seems Solane has made a lair for herself. When you arrive, the cleric is still in werewolf form and crouching in the center of the room. She stares at her bloodied claws, huffing out canine whines. You approach cautiously, but there's nowhere to hide, so you make no attempt at stealth. She notices you immediately, but doesn't move from where she is. "You shouldn't be here," she growls. "Go away." Try to talk to her, or take action to immediately end the threat.
This might be a bad idea, given what my social skills are like, but I'm going to try and de-escalate.
Gain inspiration. You indicate that you just want to talk. She narrows her eyes and a lip curls back from her fangs as she considers your presence. Then she licks her muzzles and relaxes a little.
Solane, I just want to talk.
What do you want to know, adventurer? You've at least bought a little time to find out more about Maybelline. Ask her why she killed Maybelline, or Tomlin, or start from the beginning and find out how she contracted the curse.
Let us start from the beginning. How did you contract this curse?
Oh, it was on my pilgrimage, she says. I returned to the Radiant Order to report and speak to my mentor, but I was attacked by a wolf one night. I drove it away with holy magic and healed my wounds. It was frightening, but I thought little more of it. When she returned to her order's monastery, she fell ill. No one there could help her, but no one thought to assess her for curses. She ran a fever and was delirious. On the next full moon, she changed uncontrollably and blacked out. When she came to, she was bathed in blood in a farmer's field surrounded by mutilated sheep. She left amidst the investigation without anyone suspecting her and returned home hoping to rid herself of the curse. Well, most call this a curse, she rumbles. The curse of lycanthropy. Look what I have done, what I have the power to do. She holds up her claws, still wet with Tomlin's blood. This is a power I never had as a cleric, she says. I was powerless, a servant to the people of this town, healing coughs and broken wrists. But now I have real power. She lets out a whining giggle, and you can see in her eyes that something has come loose in her mind. Of course, that power is gone, and with it, the temple's power protecting these lands. But that's also fitting, isn't it? Could that be what Langston deserves?
What were your motives for killing Maybelline? Was it really jealous love?
And she stands up straight on her back feet with her hackles rising and teeth bared. Because she was a lying little vixen, she snaps. Oh, everyone loved the innocent maid who sold her family's produce in the market. She was Langston's golden child, but she showed me her true colours.
What was Maybelline, then?
A scheming little wench. Stealing Tomlin from me was just the beginning. I don't know what she wanted in the end, but she was not the kind, sweet soul everyone thinks she was. She was cruel. Selene's eyes lose some of her humanity in the memory of it. She laughed at me, mocked me for my faith, for being the servant of Langston instead of twisting it around my finger as she had. And then she was dead. The werewolf looks at her claws and shows her teeth again. You realize she is smiling and you can see her humanity slipping further away. And that felt good. She looks up at you, and the eyes that meet yours are not those of a devout spiritual leader. They are the eyes of a killer, and you are suddenly sure that if you don't do something quickly, you will be next.
But why kill Tomlin? I can appreciate you taking out your rival, but why the object of your affection?
Tomlin betrayed me, she says, ears flattening against the huge head. He lied to me, used me, and he dropped me for that market hawker as soon as he could. You ask if she loved him, and she snarls. Of course I did, you fool! More than anything, more than I should have. And he used that against me again and again. There is a violent anger coiling in Selene now, and she starts to pace. If only he had chosen me, this could have been different. Everything could have been different. She starts shaking her head, clenching and unclenching her hands.
Look, Selene, many bad things have been done here, and may the gods know I am no saint. But I promise you, if you come peacefully, I will merely take you in and allow the townspeople to decide your fate. Don't make me end you myself.
The creature in front of you lets out a rumbling laugh. They were ready to hang me for the girl, she says between chuckles. You think they're willing to forgive me now? After what I did in the square? You're a fool. Flexing her powerful limbs, she advances toward you. All traces of her quiet sweetness are gone, and only the predator remains. But if I get rid of you, I can escape to live and kill another day, she says, starting to advance on you. Selene of the Radiant Order is dead, and you're about to join her. Her eyes flash, and you know you'll have to take some action to end Selene's threat to Langston. Selene lunges at you, but you had half expected things to go wrong at any point, so you're not caught unawares. She clenches and unclenches her claws as she growls. You've always heard that werewolves and other lycanthropes are immune to ordinary weapons, but this is your chance to put that to the test. She is watching you carefully, clearly unsure of what to expect of you. Draw your own weapon, draw the moon shard, or draw the scrappling claw. If you have any magical ability, you can also try to cast a spell, or as an action, you can try to throw the filter of remembrance, or touch her with the silver star with a successful attack roll.
Werewolves don't do well with silver. That's a nat 20, plus the bonus.
In the ebb and flow of battle, Selene tries to slash at you with claws, and you try to connect with the magic item in your hand. In the eternity that is mortal combat, you are in a stalemate. Neither having the upper hand for a split second, you wonder if you have made a grave mistake in pursuing such a dangerous beast into her lair. But then, through the flurry of claws and teeth, you leap forward and manage to make contact with the silver star. Magic thuds out of the silver brooch into Selene, locking both of you in place. As you feel the magic of the brooch pouring out, Mayor Anathram and Roy lead a group of armed townspeople into the chamber. All of them stand rapt as you press the silver star harder into the werewolf. There's a loud crack and a shower of brightly sparkling motes of light around the silver star. Selene jerks and howls long and low to echo through her underground lair. As the lights continue to dance and spin down to earth, Selene's transformation proceeds in reverse. The fur covering her body retracts into her skin, and her limbs shorten and contract into their human form. Her howl becomes a scream, and she drops to her knees on the ground. "No, no, no!" she yells, gathering the tatters of her robes around herself. "Dear gods, no!" She looks down at her small, pale hands still stained with Tomlin's blood, and then up at you. Tears are streaming down her face. How dare you take that away from me, she demands. Now I'm just me again. She collapses to the ground, sobbing bitterly into her red-stained hands. Roy and Mayor Anathram step back to a respectful distance as militia members flank her and gently carry off the broken cleric. As the militia members lead Solane away, you see how dark the rings under her eyes have gotten, how she staggers with exhaustion, and how she clings her shredded vestments around her. The disgraced cleric is a broken woman, and it's impossible to tell when she gave up her humanity to the beast she had become. As she is escorted from the chamber, Solane fires you a last look over her shoulder. A mysterious smile spreads across her face suddenly, and then she vanishes down the corridor on her way back to the surface. "Nice work, adventurer," Roy says with his customary joviality. "It was touch and go for a bit there, but you pulled it off." "Indeed," the mayor says with an emphatic nod. "The town owes you its gratitude, and I am thankful as well." You accept both leaders' praise and prepare to take your leave. "Let us walk with you," Mayor Anathram says. "I would speak with you both before the day is done." I could do that," Roy says. "Let's be off." The three of you leave the now empty lair together, bound for Town Hall and the end of your quest. When you emerge from the temple, you see that the morning sky has returned to normal. Roy and Mayor Anathram are speaking with each other, which means Roy is regaling her with a long-winded tale of his youthful exploits as part of an adventuring party. As you walk the streets, you see townsfolk emerging from their homes to speak to neighbours, and the mood is bright. News of Solane's capture travelled quickly, and the relief is palpable. Taking much longer at a normal pace, you return to the town hall. A group of locals is out in the square with scrub brushes and soapy water taking the blood off the cobblestones. The mayor's aide is waiting by the entrance to the town hall, smiling as you approach victoriously. "This way, please," he says to you, then addresses the mayor. "I've prepared everything in your office, ma'am." Buttercup is waiting in the office as well, safe from harm's way in the temple. Seeing your trio, he bounds up to you all and rushes past the mayor to lick Roy and prance around the dwarf in excitement. Aye, Roy says as he wipes at his face. "All's well, lad." The mayor takes her seat behind the desk as Roy shoos Buttercup back to his dog bed. She steeples her fingers as Roy finds a nearby armchair to settle into. "The results of your investigation will affect your rewards, adventurer," she says. "Solane is facing the consequences of her actions. So must you."
I think you'll find that my record stands for itself, Mayor. I had a feeling it was Solane, and it would seem that my suspicions were duly confirmed.
"Solane had us all fooled," Roy says sadly. "She was well liked, loved even, such a sad turn of events." "But now the people of Langston can rest a little easier," Mayor Anathram says. "You have their gratitude, and mine." She hands you a large coin pouch, and it's considerably heavier than you'd expected. Add 350 GP to your inventory. You also keep any other items and treasure you have collected on your adventure. "You earned every copper of that, adventurer," Roy says. "But we are hoping it does not satisfy you fully," the mayor says. "We have further business to discuss."
I'm listening.
Looking back over the past few days, it feels like a much longer stay in the unassuming town of Langston. You've destroyed monsters big and small, cured diseases, broken curses, and likely even made a few friends. But the mayor and the druid want you to remain in Langston for a while longer. "While it's been challenging," Roy says, "there is still much to do." "Solane is in custody," Mayor Anathram says, "but it is unclear if she still poses a threat now that her curse is broken." Roy continues, "And her actions have clearly severed her connection to her divine power, but she's just so calm. She is powerless, trapped, and just sitting in that cell, like she's waiting for something." "There is also now the problem of the undead," Mayor Anathram says, and she seems suddenly tired. "Now that there is no cleric of the Radiant Order, the dead are not staying that way," Roy says, "and there could be serious consequences to the temple being too long without a member of the Radiant Order maintaining the town's protections." "You have fulfilled your obligations to us, adventurer," says the mayor. "But I hope you will help us again." "Come on," Roy says with a wink. "You know whatever comes next will be fun."
Why not? I could do with a bit of fun.
Dawn breaks bleak and grey over the still homes of Langston. You are just returning from leading an uneventful night on patrol, but not all of them have been so quiet. The town has taken measures to quarantine the cemetery. The townsfolk are walking the rows of headstones with clubs to destroy any dead as they claw their way out of graves. However, Langston has stood in this spot for hundreds of years and has not always used the same cemetery to inter their dead. Over the past week since capturing Selene, you have already dealt with the animated remains of 2 people and several house pets. The innkeeper greets you warmly as you stagger into the Pickled Hen with the townsfolk you led through the streets last night. He silently sets a hot meal in front of you and your companions as more militia members filter into the temporary headquarters for undead hunters. A few bites into your breakfast, the mayor strides in at the head of her own patrol. If you look closely, you can barely see the tired lines around her mouth and eyes. Her rigid bearing seems unaffected by the late nights. She directs her team to get something to eat and then joins you.
Tonya, any word from the messenger?
"None," she says as she receives a tray of her own. "The Radiant Order is several days' hard ride. We can expect the Cleric to arrive soon." The 2 of you eat in silence for a few bites before the tavern door slams open and a bloodied Roy rushes in. "In here, lads," he says. He sweeps everything off the table nearest to the door as 2 men from town carry the limp form of an injured woman. "Set her down and give me some space." You rush to his side as he lays his hands on the woman and begins chanting. A green glow emanates from around his hands before sputtering and dying. He curses in several languages. "Adventurer, we were caught by 3 skeletons down on the main street," he says. "But I'm out of healing magic. Go to Tomlin's house. He must have made some healing potions before he died." You look at the mayor and she gives you a single nod. You bolt out the door on your way to the herbalist's cottage.
Thank you for listening. If you survive this episode and find yourself craving more dice-fueled misery, remember that My Daughter's Keeper now releases twice a week. Your regular Descent into Madness every Sunday, with these special episodes on Wednesdays. If that still isn't enough, our Patreon is waiting in the shadows. Membership unlocks a growing catalogue of special scenarios, access to our Discord community of like-minded troublemakers, and even the chance to join us for backer-only games where your poor life choices can become canon. Until next time, keep your lanterns lit, your dice honest, and your escape plan ready, because things are only going to get worse.